Well, I'm out here under my new porch. It's a beautiful day. And I've got a mess. Yeah, the real reason I'm out here is I got a project I'm going to be working on. I'm going to build a belt grinder. I just got these in the mail today. They are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, I think. And I'm going to use these to build the belt grinder. These are going to be the main frame of the belt grinder. And I've got this piece of metal here, which you guys have probably seen me use. It has this hook on it, which I'm going to cut off. I use this to build my trailer with for the lawnmower. You've seen that in the previous video. I already had this, and I think I've got enough here to do what I need it to do. And the reason I got this is because it's the perfect size for that. A lot of people say you have to cut a notch in this for that, but since it fits so good, I don't have to. That's the welding seam for the tube, so I don't have to do that. And as you can tell, a lot of this metal is thicker and it dips down on the sides a little bit from shaping, but I don't have to worry about that either. We're going to start this project by measuring these out and building the frame. I have some drawings I downloaded off the internet. A lot of people are using these for knife making and other things. I got crap all the way around me. But anyway, I'm not just going to use it for one thing. I'm going to use it for numerous things. Yeah, kitty litter box. I got stuff in there. I'm going to use it to make other things. I got Harbor Freight belt and disc sander over there that I'm going to utilize a little bit for this. These are actually molds for making benches. That's one of them I made over there. You can see that. I made like 4 of them for around the yard. Haven't sold any. There's another one over there, and there's one in the front, and there's another one I gave to somebody. There's my bench grinder with a polisher on it. You see this on a little stand there. Thinking I might use my bender, since I don't use it that often, and use the stand, take the bender off and mount me a plate to that where it bolts on right there, and put some bigger feet on the bottom and use that as a stand for the belt grinder. Like I said, a lot of knife makers use these, and there's a lot of different videos on the internet for it already, so mine's not going to be the only one, just my interpretation and my utilization of designs that I've seen on the internet. I haven't decided 100% on how I'm going to build this yet. I just know the main frame is the main part is what I'm going to build. I need 2 10-inch pieces, 3 10-inch pieces, and a 4-inch piece for the frame. And then I'm going to utilize a piece of this maybe for the tracking wheel bracket. So let me get my ducks in a row. I think I'm going to charge my battery, and we'll get started. And I'll probably use my new bandsaw to cut these. Awesome. Okay, I've started working on the stuff for the belt grinder. I've cut this is the piece that's going to be for the tracking wheel. This is for the tracking wheel tensioner. It's going to have a spring in it, make it go up and down. And these are the tool arms they'll slide into the larger pieces with the tools on the end, so you can do different things. One's for the platen and the other one is for the tool rest, where you have the tool table, you know. I cut 3 pieces 10 inches long. This is going to be for here, like that. You see, I've already started welding these two together. And I'm a crappy welder, so you'll have to excuse my welds. I'm in the middle of grinding them down. I've done ground down the other side. But these two get welded together, and then these pieces will slide into them. Move that out the way so I can show you. These will slide into them like that. That way you can change out your tools, move the tool table out of your way, whatever you want to do for different grinding. This will be the next piece that's going to get get welded on this end like this. And this will be the other leg. Say like it would go here, and this would go there, and this piece here would be the same size, as, you know, equal distance there, like that. And yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. So now that I got this done, I'm going to clean this edge up here and make it even. As you can see, it's not even because this is going to be the front, and I want it to be kind of even. This is already even. This is where I'm going to weld the back leg to, like that. Those were the factory edges, and I want that even. And then the other leg goes here. I've kind of already squared it up. Goes there, but like that. Alrighty. This is what I got done so far. I've got all these pieces welded together. This is the bottom, this is the top. Of course, all you guys that make knives probably know that. This is going to be the tensioner. It's going to have a spring down in here. Once I figure out how I'm going to mount this, the bottom of this is going to be welded shut. I'm going to put like it's open like that. Oh, that's hot. I'm just going to block it off with a piece of metal, weld it shut. These are the tool rests that slide in and out. Now on the other side, this side's going to be the side where the belt's at. On the other side, I'm going to weld 2 nuts. Probably, this will probably be for the tool rest, and this will be for the tools. The what do you call it? The platen and the grinding wheels. So I'll put a screw here. I'll weld a nut's what I'll do. I'll drill a hole and then weld a nut on the other side to tighten the screw up. And people say, oh, that looks ugly. You know what? It's mine. I'm not trying to sell it, not trying to make a fortune off of it or anything. So it's fine. And then I'll put one up here, and then I'll get a knob that'll fit that nut to tighten it up, and you know, so I can slide these in and out and keep them tight. Now I want to figure out how I want to mount this thing, because if I'm going to mount it to a piece of steel, I need to get the steel. And I'm wanting to go to the scrap yard and see what they got, but probably can't go till next week sometime. But if I mount it to a piece of steel, then maybe I can mount it to my bender over there. But this is the body of it done. I'm going to clean it up. I don't think I'm going to do like some of them other guys and put Bondo in there. I'm just going to leave that there and just paint this. I'm going to grind these down and paint them because they're done, except for this one having the bottom welded in on it. And then this will be the part to you're going to drill a hole through here, and you're going to mount the tracking wheel to it, and it'll fit over that, and it'll go in and out like that. Sorry. Now when you use this tube steel, you can see right there, that's where they welded it. It sticks out. What you want to do is this part's going to get cut out, so you want to make sure that part is to the side you're going to cut out. That welding seam right there, you want to make sure that's the part you're going to cut out. That way it doesn't interfere with anything. And then you can it's going to get a hole drilled through here, and it's going to have a bolt that mounts it there. There'll be a screw going through here that pushes that in and out. The wheel will be sticking out from it, and it'll track the belt like on a belt sander. If I can't find some steel plate somewhere, or I'm gonna have to build a form, or I might just get some square steel. I want to use at least 3/16, make like square footing, and weld this to it so I'll have a place to drill holes and mount it. We'll see. Let me see what I can find at the scrap yard. Oh, gnocchi. I've cut a piece of that flat bar right there, and I welded it onto the bottom of this piece of tube. That's where the spring will be. Spring's going to go in here. You drop the spring down in that hole, and you put that on there. You got to push it down and push it back up to tension the pulley, the tracking wheel. So, that being said, I think that's all the welding that I need to do on the body. Well, I went to the scrap yard today to find some sheet steel to mount my belt grinder to, and well, I got a piece, and it weighs about 60 pounds. It's a 1/4 inch thick, and it used to be part of a bridge, but yeah, this used to be a bridge. Huh, you can believe that.
I'll walk on it.
You can walk on it?
Since I walk on the bridge.
Anyway, alright, I'm going to cut on this line right here and even off this end, and after I get everything situated, I'm going to decide where to cut it off up here. I'm not going to use this whole thing, it's just too heavy. Also, I got some parts today. This is some belts, some ceramic belts to go on the grinder when I'm done. Also, I got the wheels, the platen, and the V-plate in today. So I'm trying to fit that after I get this cut. So I ain't sure why that thing's catching like that, but I want to keep all my fingers and toes, so we're going to break this bad boy out. Ow. Clamp hit me in the knee. I don't know if y'all caught all that, sorry. There we go. Alright, we got that piece cut off. We'll clean it up now with the flat disc. Okay, I don't have much battery left, but I wanted to get that smoothed off, and I'm going to test fit a few things just to see how they look. I've seen a few people put this part right here, and I'm thinking about using the belt grinder. That way I can take the belt grinder and mount it up in the front, use one side for grinding and knife sharpening, and use the other side to drive the pulley. So I'd have like two pillow blocks bearings here with a pulley here and the drive wheel here. Alright, and then here I got this doohickey on here. This on backwards, it's supposed to be the other way, but I'll just pull it out and turn it over. I haven't tightened these up yet. I got some bolts to mount it to it, and I drilled some holes in this tool arm to accommodate this. Now I'm gonna, on this side, I'm gonna drill a hole on the top one and the bottom one, and I'm gonna weld a nut in place. I went to the hardware store today, and I bought some knobs that I can use to tighten it up, and it's the same nut as this one here. So I'm gonna use a screw, drill the hole, weld the nut in place, and I can put this in it and tighten it up. These are actually pinch nuts. They've been pinched right there, so they're like lock nuts. So once you put the knob in and turn it, they don't back out. So now that I got this on there, I can tighten this up. They didn't have a knob with a long enough thread on it to go through here, so I didn't get one for there to it. That's so you can adjust it like that, but I'm not going to do that now. Also, when I was at the hardware store, I was looking at their springs, and sorry about the close up there. I found this. It's $5 at the hardware store. It's a high compression spring, and it'll fit down in there perfectly. I don't want to take this out. I guess I can. Let's see. So that'll fit down in there perfectly. And that's not the one that goes in it anyway. But anyway, that's where we're at. I'm gonna drill those two holes and put the nuts and weld the nuts on it. I'll do that next, and I'll be back. I've got the tensioning arm in here. You can see that I've rounded this over. I got to drill a hole here so that I can mount this piece there, and then I'll drill a hole here. It'll be bigger here than it is on this side, and I'll weld a nut on this side so that I can adjust the tracking like that. And the reason I rounded that over is so it doesn't interfere with this going back like that. I put the spring in here. It doesn't have anything on the bottom there, but you can see how it pushes back, so that's what we needed. I'm still deciding on how I want to make the base, if I want to put something here to bolt this down, or if I'm going to weld it. I don't want to weld it, but I'll probably just make a platform for it to sit on, weld it on there, and then use that to bolt it to my piece of steel I have here. Alright, I've got the nuts welded on here, but I think using those pinch nuts might have been a mistake, because boy, this thing's hard to turn now. I might have to grind off the point on them a little bit. Yeah, because they don't stick out at all. But anyway, it'll work. It'll work for what I want it to work for. If not, I'll grind them off and get regular nuts. Alright, I've solved the problem. I took them over to the old Harbor Freight belt grinder, and I ground off some of the bottom threads. That works good. See? Nice and tight. Like tighten that up as tight as I need to. It's not going anywhere. Did the same with this one. I didn't even realize that I had grabbed two different knobs. Kind of sad about that, but I can say this is for one thing, this is for the other. Right? Alright, there's the tracking wheel adjustment. It won't be down this low, it'll be up here, but I still have to drill a hole back here to push this out and weld the nut back here so that I can adjust it like that. Find the tracking wheel. There we go. Tracking wheel. Not sure which way it goes. I don't guess it matters, but it'll go on there like that. The bolt will go through here, mount onto there, and I'm going to make the hole that goes under here bigger so that it'll accommodate the nut on the back of the bolt. Probably put the bolt through here and put the nut over here. Yeah, but that's how it goes, just like that. How much room I got to adjust it if I need to. I don't doubt it. I don't think I'll ever have to adjust it that much, but there you go. Alright, I've got the holes drilled. I got this nut that I could weld in here, but I don't want to weld this one in there because this is that lock nut. If I weld that in there, it's going to be almost impossible to get the adjustment that I need for the other side. So I got to go get a nut that'll fit this weld on there. I get it at the hardware store. And let me see. I have a bigger hole right there, and instead of drilling it the same place that this is going to go, I just drilled it a little higher. It'll do the same job. That way it won't interfere with that. So we'll work on this again tomorrow. Alright, last night I cut a piece of this out right here. This is that piece of bridge I had. And I made me a base for this thing. So now it stands upright. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill probably 6 holes. One here, one here, one here. Same on the other side. So I can mount it either to this or I can mount it to a table or something. Now that I've got it this far to stand up on its own, I've got the tracking wheel on here now. And that can fit here. I already got the spring in there so you can see. There. This would be for like the tool rest. You can see I can tighten it up back here. And this would be the platen. It goes in here like that. And you tighten it up. I'm thinking about taking these, turning them the other way, and then getting some nuts to put on here and to tighten and loosen these up so that I can change the angle, because what you really want to do is, like when you've got the tool rest sitting on there, you want to turn that slightly like that so you can grind knife blades and stuff. So next step is going to be mounting the motor, and I'm going to guess I took the drive wheel in the house, but anyway, the drive wheel is made out of the same thing this here is, like plastic infused with fiberglass or something. It has doesn't have a bearing, it's just a shaft through here, and it's supposed to be 5/8, but it turns out that 5/8 is 0.625 of an inch, and the hole in the middle is 0.61. Now that's a small variance, but it's enough to keep the pulley from going over the shaft of either one of my motors that I want to use. So I'm either going to have to grind down the shaft or rebore the hole, and I'm not sure which one I want to do yet. Okay guys, I've been working hard on this thing. I got a mess out here, I got to clean it up. But I managed to get this motor here to fit this wheel. It was 6500s instead of 62.5, which is 5/8. And this actual pulley is 61, maybe 61 and a half hundredths. So that didn't work too well. But I didn't want to change it, so I changed the motor. I put it together, and as you can see, the tracking leaves a lot to be desired. The motor's not mounted down very well. I've got two clamps on here. I'm going to have to rearrange this whole configuration to where it will work. But I wanted to show you what it looks like with a belt on it. I've got the tracking wheel on, but it wants to twist. So what I think I'm going to do is put one of these right here, so that the grandbaby's crying, so that I can push it back like so and keep it aligned, because I don't want it like twisting and stuff like that. Alright guys, I went and broke down and bought me a Harbor Freight farm duty motor. It's 1 horsepower, 1800 RPMs. It does not stall out when you grind on it. I've lined the belt with the pulleys, and I seem to be getting a wobble in the belt, and I don't know why, because this pulley is not wobbling. None of the rest of them are wobbling, but the belt just does like that. I don't know if it has anything to do with this drive pulley or not. Maybe I should have went with the aluminum ones or something. But you can see it rides right on the edge of that drive belt, so. But it rides on all the edges of the other ones too. Here, I'll start it up and show you. See how it wobbles? I don't know why it wobbles. I haven't got a switch on it. I thought that was a switch, but turns out that's a fuse, so I'm gonna have to put a switch on it. I'm debating whether I want to put a hole in the side of that box and put a switch in it, or just put a switch in line. But I'm gonna mark the holes and take the belt off so nothing moves. Mark the holes, and I'm gonna go get some bolts and bolt it down, and I'm gonna give it a try like that. I noticed that this wanted to twist. It's in there fairly tight, but you can see right there's a little bit of a gap. And rather than put a piece of filler in there to give me trouble, I just put these bolts here so that I can tighten and loosen them. And as it turns out, these actually help to track it once you have the belt tension on it. The only problem with that is when you want to change belts, you have to loosen these as well. And this is the other fine-tuning tracking. Hey guys, I went to the hardware store and I got some bolts, and I bolted it all down. Got it running. It works really good. I was playing with a piece of steel. This is a knife grade steel, but just a piece of steel I had laying around. Just fiddling around, did this with it. So, you know, it works pretty good. Tracks pretty good. Yeah, plug it in. I ain't got a switch on it yet. I need to get a switch to put on it, but we'll worry about that later. belt still wobbles. I don't know why, but it stays on track. I got 2 more bolts to put in over here. I probably don't need them, but I'm going to put them in anyway, just for safety reasons. As you can see, it wobbles. That's because the nuts are underneath there and the weight of the motor is pulling it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 pieces of 2x4, and I'm going to trim this off like right here, and I'm going to run 2 2x4s underneath there and right underneath this, because of the bolts being here. I don't want to get them in the way. And that'll be like the stand for it. And I'm probably going to trim it off right about here to get this out in the open to be able to work with it, because I want to be able to put a bucket of water under it to catch any sparks that come off of it. And like I said, I ground this out in just a matter of minutes. You wouldn't want to use this as a knife, because it's not high carbon steel, but you can see how it shaped it up real nice. I don't think it'll temper. That's the problem. Not enough carbon in it to temper the blade. So, but yeah. Also, I'm going to build a tool rack. I have that piece of metal down there. It's going to go in this hole down here, and I'll say tool rack, like a work table. It's going to come out and go in front of this here like that, so that you can rest your blade or whatever you're working on it and grind it down. That's the next thing to do. So with that being what it said, I'm going to do that. That'll be a whole nother video, because I still got to get material for that, and any tweaks I might do to it later. I'll do a video on it, so you'll see what I've done to it. I'm probably going to change these nuts out because I don't like the way these look. I want to try and get something like this to go on there to make it look better. Maybe a bolt that goes through like this with a nut on this side. But I got to find that still, because this is a 1/2 inch and this is 3/8. I can get this, but I can't find one that size. I'll probably have to order that offline. But anyway, I'm going to build a stand on it and trim it off and get it ready to roll. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the discussion down below, and I'll try to get back to you. And as always, like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a great day.